Hey y'all, it is Lotus coming back with another read. I hope everybody is doing well out there, taking good care of yourselves. How are you? Okay, let's see automatically off the rip what y'all got going on. Okay, not gonna hold y'all, just pretty much see how y'all feeling out there. Now, once again, these are collective reads. I don't know anybody personally. Okay, even if I have talked to you when I am doing these readings, remind yourself to take what resonates and to leave the rest, okay? So let's see. Again, thank you guys so much for all your support for the channel. Continue to like, share, and subscribe. Okay. It's looking real juicy. Okay. All right. So first card, because that wasn't the first card, it says to let go of judgment is the topic of today. It says judging others only keep you stuck in the past. Embrace compassion and to release judgment. Okay, whether if this is you being more critical and more judgmental of yourself, but most importantly the people around you. Okay, one thing about this life and two things for sure is don't none of this shit come with instructions, and everybody don't know everything. Okay, everybody gonna fall and bump their head, and for you to sit over there and be more, I guess, high and mighty about where you may be at or feeling like you got an internal God complex. It's one thing to know that, God's spirit, whoever you choose far as the name, lives within us, and what you choose to do with that far as that energy as to the boomerang effect when it comes to the energy, what you put out is what you get back. That's solely up to you. But you got to be completely mindful as to being judgmental of others. You have no idea, you have no clue what it's like to be in anybody's shoes, just as well as don't nobody know what it feels like to be in your shoes, okay? So just some things to be mindful of for the collective, whoever I'm speaking to. And then the next card is being mindful of your path, okay? Understanding that a lot of people that I ended up encountering as clients and whatnot, they are pretty much the cycle breakers, okay? And that's what this card is about, with the cycle stops with you. It says, excuse me, you are the one your ancestors prayed for. This pain ends in your hands. Choose differently now. So even across, because it's really giving off more like something with some family or family members. Maybe you are a family member, but within being a cycle breaker, right? I think one of the misconceptions is just because you are doing differently or you are switching things up or you are changing the trajectory of moving forward for the future as to like how the family dynamic may look like or whatever, doesn't mean that you get to go around and be boastful or go around and criticize the previous generation or whatever. Okay, a lot of people did the best that they could. A lot of people didn't know certain information until they got older. A lot of people just simply didn't know a lot of shit, just as well as you just now coming into understanding a lot of stuff yourself. Okay, and maybe you may have gotten an advantage far as some years or time on your side or whatever than opposed to these people did, but that don't mean that there has to be a wedge between y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna put these cards close together because it definitely don't need to be a wedge depending on the scenario. Okay, I don't know who I'm speaking to, but just overall with the collective, I'm getting that that is the main theme here in this spread. Like, this is pretty much you. Okay, but you need to also do it from a free and loving state of mind, because being too judgmental or basically feeling like it's your way or no way to an extent, because I'll give you a prime example, y'all. I'll give y'all a prime example. Okay, um I don't even necessarily know if this is a trigger warning, but it needs to be said. You know how a couple years back it was like super trending with eating healthy, which that's always gonna be a thing. But it was like really the topic of discussion I want to say for almost at least the past couple of years when it came to um what's that holiday called? The one with the turkey and stuff or whatever. Thanksgiving, there we go. With that one. I think now they call it Indigenous Day or some child, who knows. But anyway, what I'm getting at is that one specifically or whatever. Now that people were coming into, excuse me, new information, it was like that was the main topic as to not necessarily the type of food. It was being more health conscious as to how the food was being made, or people actually um, showing different ways as to like how the candy yams could be made. Okay, if you from my ethnic background, okay, baby, you know, like look, some people put marshmallows to for sweetener on top of the sugar. Okay, just you gonna have a headache. You gonna have a headache. Gotta balance it out with some salty ass greens. I mean, you know, it's just used to be like that. But now we're having changing the trajectory for us, like the conversation around food as a whole, as to like what that may look like. And that could simply in itself be your form of being the cycle breaker with being more health conscious. But that's just an example. But with that being said and done, for the example, you don't have to be so judgmental, because a lot of times or whatever, it's like, okay, well, there's a lot more alternatives and stuff now or whatever. And they're a lot more cost effective with these alternatives, okay? As well as there's a lot more knowledge as to how to even go out, which stores to go to, this, that, and the third, to even get these different alternatives. Fill in the blank, okay? Read between the lines on that. Far as like, okay, you might sweeten your yams now with coconut sugar or whatever the case may be, okay? Fill in the blank. But that, just because you doing that doesn't mean that what was happening before. There's a, what I'm getting at is there's a storyline amongst each side, okay? And each side's story, ha- give it the respect it needs to be heard, okay? So there's that. And then lastly, it says to cultivate courage. I love that. Okay. So even if you are a cycle breaker, because I do feel like that is the going theme here or whatever, right? It's one thing to check your ego, okay? Not being too boastful, too judgmental and critical of not only just yourself, but the people that are around you, others, okay? But to cultivate the courage to continue on with the changes that you are implementing, okay, for your lineage, okay? For your lineage and the wisdom, if you got children already, okay? What you are instilling and cultivating into them, and teaching them more courage, or even cultivating courage just within yourself, but understanding that there are people watching you, because there's definitely people watching you and surrounding you, okay? This could be ancestral with them encouraging you with your spirit guides, but this also could be people here in the physical and the 3D that are just like, you know, even if they're not saying it, but they're silently looking on the sidelines and just like seeing how you move, and they're like, okay, I like how that young man move. I like how that young girl move. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're older or whatnot, don't matter. And then it says courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the ability to move forward despite of it. And that's the shit that I be fucking talking about, okay? Because I tell people all the time, and I know y'all see it. How does that saying go? It'd be like, do it. Do it scared. Do it sad. Do it do it when even when you're fearful, because what you end up realizing, especially with cultivating courage, it's like when you get on the other side of doing whatever it is that had your nervous system feeling like, I don't know, you end up realizing that a lot of times or whatever, what you were scared to do or fearful of, or hell maybe even sad about making an attempt on, a lot of people are so scared to fail, in a sense of, you so scared to fail that you're also scared to win. And it's like, baby, I thought we came here to play to win. What's going on? Like you need to look at almost every situation or whatever like you ain't got shit to lose. Be mindful now, okay? Be mindful, because it is people, whether they saying it or not, okay? And I do feel like some of this, for some people I'm talking to, this is just like ancestral. They are like rooting you on, they're watching you, and they're also noticing like the courage that you are taking steps forward or whatever to be able to move forward despite all odds. I do definitely see that there are people here with children with the baby birds or whatever in the back. Can you see that? with the baby bird sitting right here in a nest or whatever, they're also watching you. There's a confirmation that there's a lot of people watching you, okay? Whether you feel like what you're doing ain't doing enough or whatever the case may be. Okay, and these people aren't necessarily talking. They're just more so in observation phase. They're seeing how you're moving, and they just like making their own decision as to is that something that they want to help. Because I'm not getting no malicious intent in none of these cards. I'm definitely not getting that. But we just gonna keep on moving forward, okay? Cause not gonna hold y'all. Not gonna hold y'all. But yeah, confirmation for whoever. Maybe there is a new endeavor that you have been contemplating on when it comes to doing something differently within your family dynamic. And now you just like, I just need the courage to do it. And it could be integrating, like just even um, creating your own sense of family and what that may look like. You got the block card and silence. Could be a lot of hermit energy. Definitely just kind of like sitting within yourself and making these decisions. I also am seeing where you have blocked a masculine out, okay? Masculine dynamic. This also could be you being a little too critical of just the masculine in itself, whether if it's just men in general for all my ladies, or this could be a man being too judgmental of other men. Okay, I'll put this up here. There's a storyline going on. I'll put this over here. I'm trying to make sure that y'all can see my freaking lighting. It is what it is, y'all. Okay. The message is what's the most important. Or this could be a masculine energy sitting in his own silence or whatever about the things that he's trying to do moving forward when it comes to breaking a certain generational cycle amongst his family lineage. And he's being watched. So this definitely could be me talking to my masculines or just men in general. Letting go of the judgment of how you're feeling about some of the decisions that you feel that you had to do or make in order to help feed your family and stuff like that. Okay, with the cultivate courage or whatever, being able to understand and see the end of the rainbow. And you're definitely getting signs and synchronicities. Okay, it says messages, symbols, and divine cues. So whoever I'm speaking to or whatever, you're definitely getting encouragement from your oh, there we go. I'll just put it over there. You're definitely getting encouragement from the other side. Okay, to keep going, keep pushing. Okay, so if I'm definitely talking to my man, I feel like it's a few people up in here, men or women. Okay, but definitely whatever it is that you are doing or working on when it comes to breaking certain generational curses, I guess, or just cycles. I don't really try to use curse too much, but yeah, any type of cycle that you are trying to break amongst your family, just keep going. They're definitely they're rooting for you, and you're blocking out any type of interference. Definitely blocking out any type of interference. Let me just keep going. See if there's anything else. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. And this could definitely be an earth sign. Okay. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, whether if this is the masculine or feminine or whatever, or there's definitely an earth sign somewhere involved. And this could definitely be, for them, it's super important far as how structured, stability, and Virgo is like a lot more analytical. So really like maybe hitting more of the key points when it comes to just your overall baseline far as structure and stability and how you choose to move about being very grounded with your foundation regarding the future for your loved ones, specifically your immediate family, whether if that's family that you have created or, your immediate family of people and loved ones that you have around you. Okay. So, and you willing to go it alone, like this blocked in silence or whatever. I'm getting like you may have even blocked or silence people around you that maybe weren't as much as in alignment with your goals and your aspirations as to how you're trying to moving forward, but you're making sure that you're doing it from a loving way where it's like you're not judging them, like you just know what you came here to do, what you need to do, but you're not judging them with this let go of judgment card. Okay, you just know how you need to move and it's completely different, and so with that, it's going to bring a different reaction depending on whoever the person is, and it's just simple. That's just that on that. Okay. So let's just see what else. Oh, my thing just cocked to the side. Hold on, y'all. Ooh, is that it? Let me see. Ah, malfunctioning. Okay, I think that's good. Sorry, y'all. Sorry about that. I'd be so animated. Okay. But overall, it's looking good. It's just really, if anything, if somebody needed any type of confirmation that, hey, the path that you are on, because sometimes even though you may be on the path and you know intuitively or even instinctively that you feel that this is right, you're definitely going with what feels good. Okay. Sometimes you just be wanting a little nudge and be like, hey, like somebody let me know something. I do feel like in the ethers, they're definitely letting you know. Maybe you need to have, um, you need to make it a little bit more and a little bit more present and still with sitting in silence. Okay. That could be another way that I'm seeing this, with being able to sit long enough to actually see the signs and synchronicities or the messages and stuff that they are bringing to you, because when it comes to signs and synchronicities or any type of message that spirit is trying to bring to you or whatever, the best thing you can do is definitely ask them, hey, can you relay the messages to me in a way that I better understand, whether if that's you seeing numbers or maybe even a certain song, and maybe they might put an encrypted message in that song. Like you might hear the song way differently now from what you once used to. Like they might pick a song that but it's a song that also relay like a message that you need to get. And these are just some examples. You can always look all this stuff up or whatever. Okay, I'm just giving y'all the baseline per usual. Okay. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Now they gonna fall on the floor, y'all. I do the best that I can to make sure that they don't fall on the floor, and these just do what the fuck they want to do. Golly. Okay. All right. And so one of the things to pay attention to is support. It says seek support. You don't have to bear everything alone. I like that, especially if I'm speaking to my man. Okay. Let me just, because it need to be said. Before, or even currently with my first occupation, right? I deal with a lot of masculines. And what I've noticed is, um, y'all, and it could be an ego thing or whatever. It definitely could be where y'all don't ask for help, okay? Um, or people, everybody be feeling like y'all don't need help or whatever, or you supposed to just figure it out. Now, depending on what it is, okay, don't be around here just using and abusing people or whatever, because this is such thing as asking for too much help, okay? But in this instance or whatever, I do feel like there are some things that you may need help, or some things that you may need support on, and of the things that you need support on, okay, you pretty much just in this mode. You just kind of like sitting and just shutting the shit out or whatever. Like, I just don't know what to do. And it's like your spirit guides or whatever are like giving you different signs and symbols and messages like, you could do this, you could do that, but maybe you're not hearing them, or you just, you in your own little world to the point where you just in your own head. Okay. But there's definitely support there for you. But flip the roles. Flip the roles. This could be more of a female that is in her masculine energy, okay, and she's seeking messages as to how to be more in her feminine energy, or just simply just having a balance of the two, because everybody has both. Okay, so with that being said and done, seeking more support if I'm talking to my feminines, it's like you're trying to seek more support as to how to continue on with the way that you need to, understanding the future endeavor as to what you're trying to do. I'm not trying to confuse y'all. Let me back that up. You need help. Long story short, whoever I'm speaking to, you need help. And the ways that you need help may be completely different from the traditional norm. And so the ways of your support are going to be different, right? With that being said and done, you have to cultivate the courage to not only still put yourself out there, because I do feel like that there is some, whatever the support that's going on, it definitely has something to do with not only just yourself and you getting more support, but there's definitely children involved. When I'm seeing these baby birds over here, you got people counting on you. Okay, you got little ones. Okay, or whatever. So with that being said and done, it's like you have to be mindful of even the support as to how you get it, because um you see these wolves. Okay, not all help is good help. So I'm gonna definitely put that out there. Not all help is good help. So using your discernment, okay, as to what feels right, listening to the signs and synchronicities and messages as to who is supposed to even support you. Okay. There's so much going on in here. And then the biggest thing, especially what I'm seeing with this Earth sign card with the Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus, is all of this is just about structure, stability, um, and how you're choosing to move. This also could be a feminine that is being more structured, analytical, and all of the things about her life and how she is choosing to move forward into the ways of support that she needs with this cultivate courage. Because most importantly, somebody is jumping off the porch. If you get what I'm saying, somebody is jumping off the porch for sure. Um, but in the process of you doing all this, it's not only, I'm gonna say this, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself, because I'm definitely getting that. I feel like somebody is being a little too rigid in these cards too. Again, don't ever know who I'm speaking to, but you have a lot of different layers that are going on to this. But most importantly, if I could leave you with anything, is to be gentle with yourself, okay? Because there's a lot of movement going on top of you trying to break out and fly and spread your wings. Um, and in the ways that you may be doing this, both male or female, okay? Um, looks completely different from the average norm. I cannot stress that enough. I'm definitely picking that up. Okay. Um, but I'm not gonna hold y'all. We're gonna pull one more. Let me know if this resonated. Definitely always give me a thumbs up. I appreciate any type of support and feedback that y'all always give me. Okay. I do personally myself look with my two eyes. And so I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay. If you would like to reach me in any way, shape, or form or fashion, all of that is always in any description of any of the videos. And let's just see. Yes. Okay. So, cosmic message. All right. It says the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. Okay. Okay. It says, and you will champion your truth like a mofo, or I'm going to just say it like a motherfucker, and rest on the seventh day. Okay. Rest on the seventh day. So there okay, not y'all. I'm going to save that. I'm gonna save that, because then that's a whole another person I'm speaking to. This is what I have for you guys. Without fail, okay, there have been some truths that have definitely came to the forefront, to the surface, and with those truths, you are choosing to move a little bit different, but definitely be mindful as to how you're moving. Okay, understanding that there are definitely people that are rooting and counting on you, and being able to do everything from an open heart space. Okay, I love you guys, and in the meantime, in between time, I will talk to y'all when I talk to y'all. Bye.